And so I've been thinking about them a lot myself, and trying to, a lot of the stuff, you start doing jiu-jitsu long enough, like a lot of the stuff, like becomes kind of intuitive, like you just do it. And I was actually having kind of a similar conversation with Dion. There was, we had like a scramble, and my roles with Dion are like, we've known each other a long time now. We've been rolling together for so long, our roles are like, I was saying to him, like, if this is the line of like fucking around, like we're like right here, we're like stepping over it most of the time. So like, we do a lot of stuff that I probably wouldn't do with most people, but it's all fun, and it's all like, it's actual jujitsu. And so I was saying to him, there was this, you guys, you roll with me, I like loop chokes, right? So I'm always like kind of grabbing this cross collar, I'm always pushing, pulling. And so we had a situation where I had the cross collar, and I know that he knows that I know that he knows I'm gonna go for a loop choke. And so I'm like, have this moment where I'm like, I'm gonna jump over his head and try and loop it up. And my brain and my body are going, you're never gonna get that. Look, you're never gonna get it. And I'm like, nah, but I'm gonna do it anyway, I'm gonna try. So like, I guess the point I'm making is like you get these moments where like you feel like you know the moves, you get to know the moves, but you're not really thinking about how you're doing them. So like in terms of like what I've been thinking about like escapes a lot in a lot of the different positions. And one of the things I've like come to realize, getting out of side control, getting out of mount, like it all comes down to like getting inside position back. Okay, everybody understand what inside position is? Right? So let's start with side control. We're gonna work from mount today though. Alright, so like right? So like if you think about like where all the action is, right? All the action's like right in this area here, right? My torso. Now notice like kind of like my arms. My arms are to the outside, and my legs, they're all on, outside of the house looking at the party inside, So like when you start thinking about what you need to do for escapes, like everybody understands like, or you should at this point, like connecting knee to elbow, and all that is like he's dominating all the inside stuff right now. Like he's got this knee inside my arm, he's got this shoulder inside my arm, like everything, he's controlling everything to the inside. And so the way we start working out of this is like getting some of that inside position back. And so that might be like, everybody see how I'm getting inside here? Like I've disconnected one part of the inside position. And everybody knows this. Everybody knows this frame. Right? Or you should. Okay?
But it's how we got there too, guys. A lot of y'all didn't notice. He was completely flat. I'm holding him down square. And even to get that elbow in, if he just tries squeezing it in when I'm this tight, and that goes in. He did 2 little micro shrimps, the tiniest little shrimps pretty much. And then he did another one to get his elbow in. He's creating a little bit of space, and by doing those little shrimps, his shoulder is actually coming up. His hip is coming up, so now he's not flat anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's like escaping, like it's not like an armbar, where there's like these sequential step-by-step processes. Okay, it's like little things. Like if you conceptually understand that, like to get out of most positions, like it's just a battle for getting inside control back. And so if you can think about it that way, you won't like worry too much about like, okay, step 1, I'm gonna like bridge this way, and then step 2, I'm gonna go like this, and then this way, I'm gonna go step 3, I'm gonna go like, yeah, right? So if I'm trying to like think of all that, like he's just regaining all the position. And instead, if you're thinking like, just like, oh, there's part of inside position back. Here's inside position back. And now last week we talked about moving the head to the wrong side, right? I start framing this way. And now look at all the space. Now I can get this inside back. And now I bring this gooseneck that I had on the hip here, I'm going to bring it inside the arm here. And then I move my head away. And now look at that. He's in a bad spot. Okay, so like I can show you kind of like step by step for a lot of these things, but like as an overarching theme, if you just think about like if I get inside control, I start working inside, like you're going to be a lot better off. Okay. Having said that, I wanted to. This is kind of something that it's like a very basic mount sweep. We show it to the kids, and you'll find that I think it works sometimes, but not all the time. I'm going to Upa.
Honestly, once you get higher ranks, where I find it more successful is as you go for it and it's a setup. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, a lot of times I just A instead of AB, meaning I go A to the right side, they defend, I immediately go A to the left side because they sit their weight the opposite way and then I can sweep. So it's just doing the same sweep to both sides in consecutive. Or there's the elbow escape. So you go from input to elbow escape.
And that's exactly where I'm going. So to start, you learn the sweep, and this is kind of like one of those sequential step-by-step moves. But what you'll find is it's more often than not a setup to, like, I like to think of like bringing my knee back inside after you kind of post out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the sweep first, and then we'll, if we have time, we should talk about like what his reactions are probably going to be and where that opens up space in other ways to get out. Okay? So we're starting from the mount position here. Now, firstly, I want you to think about like one thing you can do to make the person like a little less comfortable. Like, I mean, he's just hanging out right now, right? So one way we can start to off balance him is start to bring our feet in close, and we're gonna start doing bridges. But if I just bridge straight up and down, when I come back down, like he's coming back down with me. So everybody understands, or if you don't know what a bridge is, a bridge is something you see in wrestling a lot, and they use it to escape pins. The fundamental objective of wrestling is to pin somebody's shoulders to the mat. So wrestlers get really good at bridging and keeping their shoulders off the mat. Okay, so this is a bridge. If I do a bridge, meaning I bring my feet in and I start to lift my hips up, if I just go straight up, when I come back down, Dion's just going to come right back down on top of me. Okay? So come back to me. So you'll notice, like, his weight is directly aligned with my hips. Everything's straight up and down. It's almost like he's just walking. If you think about walking, like your weight's kind of evenly distributed between your hips. So when I bridge, I don't want to bridge straight up and down. I want to displace his weight. Okay? So I need to do an asymmetrical bridge. I'm not bridging straight up and down. I got to be bridging to a side. So the way you do that, you can bring both feet in, but I'm going to turn one of my feet to the side when I hit my bridge. So you'll notice when I hit my bridge now, it sends his weight off of me. And even just this is enough for me to escape. Okay, so even if like we go over the sweep and you're like, that doesn't work, like notice where his weight goes. All of his weight is now off of his hips. Everything right now is straight up and down. So if I try to move side to side, like I'm not really going anywhere. He's coming with me. So if I can displace his weight in one direction, meaning I can send his weight from his hips to his hands, it's going to make his legs light, and it's going to be a lot easier for me to move on the bottom. So asymmetrical bridge. Bring your feet in. Turn one foot kind of to the side or on an angle. And then I'm just pushing off my feet and sending my hips up on the next angle. And that gets his hands. Okay? So this bridging motion is like the fundamental movement of this sweep. You got to be able to do this. Now, Upa sweep. The way we show it in the kids' class is kind of silly, but it works in a way. All right? We're going to do a bridge, and what we want to do is we're going to put his hands on the floor. So I'm going to do bridge with one foot. I'm going to use my other knee to kind of send his hands forward. So And then you're capturing an arm. I don't like this so much. When I do this to the kids, I just like swim my arm out. So they go like this, and then you just swim.
That's because they're lazy though.
Yeah.
They just grab and they're just like, okay, I got it.
And so I just keep doing it over and over again. You know, it's kind of fun.
When you take, I yell at them. When you take things from somebody, you own it. You don't give it back until you determine you don't need it. It's yours.
Yeah. So one way we can help that, right? So when I bring this in, okay, you want to think like I want to keep it kind of cross body, and the way he's going to swim out of this is his elbow is coming back and he's swimming out. Okay, so I want to put a blocker behind his elbow. Now that fundamental motion that he was doing to escape is no longer there. Okay, how many legs on a table? Most tables. 4. How many legs does Dion have? 3. Well, he's got 4. He's just lost one, right? Okay. Where is he missing a leg? Right here, right?
Top right.
Okay, right here. He's also got another leg here, which he can overcompensate. And he can even use this to, right?
Which I don't like this.
I don't like it either, but it's something to think about, right? Okay? So let's just stick basic right now. So we're taking him this way. We want to eliminate, if somebody's over in that corner, could pause that. That'd be helpful. Thank you. We're going to take him this way. So we're going to trap. We want to eliminate his post here. Because if I just bridge without taking away this leg, this isn't even at the end of the world. You know, I can still frame and now I'm kind of getting back inside. But we're trying to hit the Upa sweep right now, okay? So, feet in. You're going to do a bridge off one foot. Send his weight forward with your knee. Give him a little bump. Bump. Hands come down. Oops, sorry. Punch myself in the face with Dion's hand. Alright, so I bring everything in and now reinforce it like behind the elbow. That way they can't just swim right out. Now, this leg that I used to bump, I'm going to step over and find the ankle. This way, when I bridge, he can't step out with that foot. Okay? And again, we're not bridging straight up and down. We're bridging on an angle. So this foot's in, this one's going to kind of turn to the side, and now when I hit my bridge, I'm going to end up in top position. Bridge. Here. Okay? One more time. We're in mount. All of their weight is centered through my hips. I got to displace that weight. So I'm going to start, feet in, bridge, send his weight forward. Bring the arm in, trap it like coach said. Own it, all right? Here, reinforce it. Now, the leg that we used to bump, stepping around the ankle, taking it away. That way he can't post with it when I hit my bridge. Now we're going to hit an asymmetrical bridge on an angle. So hips come up, side step over, right into mount. Okay?
Little note. Did you notice his hips the whole time?
They stayed up.
They stayed up. As soon as he drops his hips, again, like he said, I'm gonna sit up. That's where you get people running their grapevines. If you don't know what that is, that means they just lace their legs through yours and they break you flat. If you keep, even with just the one leg, your hips up strong, the grapevines don't work. At least not when people try it on me. Right? Keep your hips strong and it'll keep you strong and able to do this effortlessly.
Okay?
Coach Andrew, can you just show me how you had his hands? So you had one hand on the elbow, and how was the other one?
So I was like grabbing a lot of the sleeve, and I'm trying to. It's a similar concept to like now. You get somebody in guard, like an arm drag. You always want to take it across the center line. The more you take somebody's elbow across the center line, the more susceptible they are to getting their back taken or being swept in that direction.
Okay.
So here, all I'm doing from mount is I'm like trying to bring the elbow to the center line, and then I'm putting a blocker behind it so the person on top can't just.
Especially when he's sitting here and my hips are up high, he has to come forward at me.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. All right. Give it a whirl. 1, 2, 3.